So we're going to talk through a basic pad placement for a tight shoulder or an attempt to try to open up internal rotators, and then fire scap stabilizers, external rotators to balance out the shoulder and create some stability and get some range of motion. So with Chris, we've already checked him. His left shoulder is tight. So we're going to start with one lead, and I typically go black pad, red pad, and attempt to open up pec minor internal rotators.
Does it matter, John, where I put that black pad versus the red pad?
It does, to a degree. That's one of the reasons why we have the reverse feature on there, because it changes the polarity. So sometimes you'll feel it more intense in the black pad to start out with. Sometimes you may feel it more intense in the red pad, but the reverse will then shift that polarity and kind of change that sensation. And it's a great feature to be able to use throughout the process.
Yeah, that's very neat.
And then we'll take one pad on the shoulder. We turn on the device. Once again, we're looking for, on a scale of 1 to 10, 7's the level where Chris says enough is enough. We want to have him probably in about a 4 to 5 range to start out with. So I'm going to use the 3% larger course adjustment knob. Let me know when you start to feel it, your first sensation. Okay, that's a 1. We're going to take you up to a 4 or a 5. Let me know when we get there.
I'm feeling it here, and I'm not feeling it hardly at all here.
Completely fine, but sometimes I'll move the pads around just a little bit just to get a sense of if that changes, so that we can get a little bit more consistency with feeling it here and there, but that's not always optimal.
Yeah, sometimes a muscle is so tight that it really takes over the charge. So if his pec is tighter than his bicep or his deltoid, he's going to feel his pec more. There's nothing wrong with that. It just gives you more information and knowing where you've got to put most of the work.
Where are we at right now?
3.
So he's getting a little bit less of that in his delt right now as we've kind of moved the pads, but what he was getting before isn't bad, and sometimes it's good to work through that process. So now we're going to have you do a sword pull. So reach across your waist, keep that arm really straight, and then you're going to bring that arm up and out and open it up, open up the hand, and just go through that movement a few times. And if you've got somebody who's got hair on their chest, either take a razor and you shave them down, or you're just constantly trying to press those pads, or you can take some tape,
Up, and then when you come down, thumb down.
or some cover roll, wrap them up. But we're always kind of tapping those pads, keeping them on there, and slow and controlled through that range. You may feel a spot that feels a little bit resistant. Just gently, slowly kind of work through that process. So the attempt is try to open up the muscles that are tight in the front of the shoulder that are pulling you into that internal rotation, pulling your shoulder out of balance, trying to get those to release and relax and allow that shoulder to sit back where it's supposed to. Great. Always turn the device down when you're changing pad placement. Then from there, I'll take the pads off, and then I'll place them in the back on external rotators and then scap stabilizers. So infraspinatus and middle and lower trap. And then we're going to take it back up. Let me know when you're at a 3 or a 4.
And that's about a 3. That's about
Okay.
a 4.
And then another movement is, Chris, you're just going to reach forward like you're doing a row. Keep your shoulders back and down. Reach forward and then squeeze your shoulder blades together, keeping your upper traps quiet. So shoulder blades are back and down, squeeze. And then when you get to the end, just open up into external rotation. So now once again, we're getting internal rotators to release and relax. We're also getting a little firing in external rotators and scap stabilizers to create some balance. And these are muscles typically that you want to release and relax. They're overused. Yeah. These are muscles that you want to fire, which are underused and underactivated.
It's also known as a boxer's move because it gets the serratus muscles, and the serratus muscles help to control the scapula and keep the bottom of the scapula from winging out, which is a problem in many, many shoulder injuries.
Great. That's good. So just one example of pad placement to open up a tight shoulder, create some stability.